This is Average Joe PT, and today on this episode, Scully and I, we're going to talk about just what is this back and why is it hurting me? Is it because I have a disc problem? Is it because I have some arthritis in my back? Is it because I have a pinched nerve? You know, what's the reason why I have some back pain? So in this episode, I'm going to go over some of that information, so you better stay tuned. Now, if you've had back pain before, and I mean some real grueling back pain, there's lots of reasons what's in your head. Like, is this going to last forever? Is it going to ever get any better? What caused it in the first place? I mean, it could be simple as just sitting too long, sitting in the wrong spot, falling down. It could be something as obvious as a car crash, or someone just kind of hitting you and you're falling backwards. So there's lots of different ways and reasons why you might have some back pain. So we're going to go over some of the main 3 reasons why you're probably having some back pain and where it's located in the first place. So let's start out with number 1. Everybody always thinks when they have a back problem it's a disc. And I'm just going to zoom up here. And this little guy right here, you got the bones, those vertebrae, you got the little disc in the middle, and this yellow thing's the spine. So people always think, oh my God, I blew a disc out and now I got a lot of pinched problems because of that disc. More times than not, it's probably not this issue. Now, if you've caught into a car crash and just kind of jarred you a lot, or if you did fall, now that might cause a blowout of the disc, and then all of a sudden you got a lot of nerve problems. Now, think of this. As easy as that disc probably goes out and comes back in, it can keep going in and out and really pinching on that nerve, which can cause symptoms down your leg. So that's one way. Not normally what's going to happen. People think, oh, it's a disc. But more times than not, it's unfortunately, or fortunately, it's not that. The second, probably more common reason why you might have a disc problem, not a disc problem, but a back problem, is you have this joint right here on either side of the spine. And this little joint on either side of the spine, and they go from one spot to the other, or segment from one spot to the other, or it's called the facet joint. It's also called the zygapophyseal joint too. And let me just kind of show you that a little bit closer up with this little model here. You can see it a little bit better here. Now, within that joint is got cartilage that glides on one another, and within that joint completely, it's encapsulated by a bubble of liquid called synovial fluid that nourishes that joint. Now, you can get wearing of that cartilage like you can anywhere else, like a shoulder, like a knee joint, anywhere. And so when that cartilage starts to wear, it can get inflamed and aggravated. And if you fall or get jarred in a car accident or something, that can cause a lot of your symptoms. And right next to that joint is the nerve. And so that, more times than not really the disc causing a lot of your symptoms, but just that joint that gets irritated and aggravated can cause a lot of your symptoms. So, I'm going to leave a little tag up there. I did talk about just specifically facet joint symptoms before, and you can go to that link and kind of give you some ideas, some treatments. How the heck do I manage that type of problem? So, I want you to stick around, because I got a little bit more information on, where the heck is this back pain coming from? So stay tuned. Now, the third way, really, and probably the very most common way that the reason why you're having some back pain is because you're probably sitting too long in one spot and you've aggravated the joint. So think about this. When people are sitting wrong, they're sitting like this, like I call it the letter C, where the joint's all opened up and the ligaments and the muscles are all being overstretched on this area, and things start to get inflamed. You get all those irritations within the joint and all those muscles being overstretched constantly that give you that pain in the first place. That's probably the more common way, because the reality is we are sitting a lot more than we've ever sat before. We're sitting at either the computer or the phone, or the restaurants, your car, your job. I mean, a lot of people are doing indoor jobs nowadays. Now, this is not to everybody, but majority of that is the case. So that is the third way that really can aggravate those symptoms in that lower back. You're like, jeepers, why? I didn't do much. Why is it hurting so bad? It's from sitting too long. I call it the letter C. You got to stay out of that. Now, I've got tons of stuff on reducing that letter C position and ways to kind of manage your pain. And I'm going to leave a little tag up there for there. I go over TENS units, icing, pillows, different massage techniques, different stretching exercises to help just reduce that specific kind of pain. And so that you definitely want to look into. So those are the three real reasons. We got the disc, which is, you can have it. More common wise is that facet joint, or the third, really probably most common one, is you just irritated the muscles in the joint from sitting incorrectly, or maybe lifting incorrectly, or that repetitive thing that's really causing that back. Now what you got to do is, first of all, no brainer, stop doing the activity, ice it, rest it, literally get your spine in a nice strong supported position, not a soft bed or recliner chair. Stay away from sitting. When you've aggravated your back, whether it's from falling, car crash, lifting wrong, sitting incorrectly, you want to stay away from sitting in a recliner chair or soft sofa, because that's not going to support the spine. That's going to keep that spine all twisted and rotated. You want to be in a nice, almost semi-hard surface like the floor, or maybe if you're nice enough and you have like a bed that kind of firms up, like a Sleep Number bed can kind of firm up and keep that back straighter, so you're not getting all those rotational movements that can keep everything aggravated. So, and you might want to try some anti-inflammatories. So obviously, you want to make sure you're not having any symptoms from it, or maybe contraindications we would call it. But needless to say, those are the 3 or 4 things you need to worry about. Now, if you guys have any questions or comments, please, oh please, leave them down below. I love hearing from them. I try and get back to you all as soon as I possibly can. Skully and I are trying to bring this content at least a couple times a week. Some really decent content, some entertainment, and hopefully you guys are out there and you can go ahead and ring the bell. I know, I'm hoping that this really, really helps you all also. And so Skully and I always like to say, until next time, look up and keep smiling. See you next time, folks.